Hello students, welcome to this video. We are going to discuss arrays. So what are arrays? Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. Okay, what is the meaning of this? For example, let's say if I want to store the total percentage, I want to store the percentage of 50 students, then I will have to create 50 different variables, okay, like let's say P1, P2, P3, okay, up till P50, and then individually I have to assign the percentage. So I have to do something like this: declare 50 different variables and initialize their values separately by writing several lines of code. Okay. So to make this task easier, we have the concept of arrays. Okay. So arrays are used for storing multiple values of same type. Arrays are used for storing multiple values of same type in a single variable, okay, and each value in the array will have an index, and the index starts from 0. Now let's talk about the syntax, how to declare array. Okay, you know that for declaring a normal variable we have to write the data type first, and then we have to write the variable name. So this is how you declare a normal variable. When you want to declare an array, so what you can do is write down the data type and then variable name followed by square brackets. Okay, so when you write the square bracket after the variable name, that makes the variable an array. Okay, now we have not actually created the array, we have just created a variable which will store the address of an array. Okay, and this square brackets can be written before the variable name also, like this: int marks. So this is also valid. So once you have declared the array variable, okay, now you can create an array and connect the array with that array variable. So how to create an array? So using the new operator, okay, you have to use the new operator like this: new int, okay, and then give a size of the array. Suppose I want to store 5 integers. Okay, I want to store 5 integers. So by writing this new int, you are creating an array. Okay, and now we have to connect this array with an array variable. So we have already created the marks array here, so we can connect this by writing marks on the left side of the assignment operator. So by doing this, we have created the array and connected it with the array variable. Okay, so what will happen in the memory? you will have you will have 5 blocks, and we can call this as the object. Okay, this is our object, and this, the address of this object will be stored by the marks variable. Okay, so by default, since we are using we have created an integer array, by default the values will be 0. Okay, for all the integer types it will be 0, for reference type it will be null, and for boolean it will be false. The default value will be false. Okay, so this is how we have created the array and connected it with the array variable. So by now you should understand why array is also known as a composite type. Okay, it's known as a composite type or a non-primitive type, because an array variable does not store the actual object, it stores the address of an object. Okay, so therefore this is known as composite type or a non-primitive type. Okay, now there are other ways of creating and initializing the arrays. Okay, let's see the second method. So what you can do is you can create it like this: int marks brackets then equal to, and now within curly brackets you can write the values that you want to store in the array. Suppose I want to store 2, 7, 8, 9, 15. Okay, so I've got 5 values in the array. I've got 5 values: 2, 7, 8, 9 and 15. Okay, so this is the array, and this whole thing is known as array literal. Okay, so you can initialize the array using array literals also, and the index will be like this: this one is 0, this one is index 1, at this index will be 2, this index will be 3, and this index will be 4. So the array length or size of the array is 5 here. Okay, but the index will always start from 0 and it will go up till 1 less than the array size. Now let's say if I want to read the value present at the second index. So what I can do is I will write marks after the variable name, the array variable name. Within square brackets I will write the index that I want to access, or that I want to read. Okay, and now let's say I pass this to system.out.println. So when I do this, okay, the value present at index 2 in the marks array will be returned. Okay, will be accessed, will be read. So the value is 8 at the second index. Okay, so the output of this will be 8. Similarly, if I want to access, let's say, the value present at index 4, okay, so I'll write marks within square brackets 4, and the output of this should be 15. Okay, so this is how you will read the value stored in the array. Now let's say you want to change the value present at index 4. Okay, you want to change the value present at index 4. So what you can do is you write the variable name, then within square brackets write the index and use the assignment operator. So when I do this, let's say I store 35. Okay, I've written marks within square brackets 4 and assign 35. That means what will happen, this value 15 will be replaced by 35. Okay, so this is how you'll apply the assignment operator to store some value or to change the value of the array at a particular index. So now let us see a practical example in BlueJ. Okay, let's write some code now. Okay, so I'll create an integer array here. Int marks is equal to, let's say 40, 50 and 60. Okay, I just want to store 3 marks. So okay, let's make it 4. Let's store one more value, 70. Okay, so I've created the marks array, and at 0 index we have 40, at the first index we have 50, second index contains 60 and the third index contains 70. Okay, now let's print all those values. So system.out.println marks 0. Okay, so first I'll print marks 0 and then the remaining marks also by changing the index 1, 2 and 3. So let's do this. Let's compile and see the output. So as you can see, the output is 40, 50, 60 and 70. Now let's perform some arithmetic operations upon those values. Okay, let's say I want to calculate the total marks. Okay, the total marks. So what I'll do is I'll take int total is equal to marks 0. Okay, marks 0 plus marks 1 plus marks 2 plus marks 3. Okay, so I've accessed the values at each index and I have added it. Okay, so after displaying the marks, okay, after displaying the marks, the individual marks, I will display the total marks. So total marks is stored in the variable total, so I'm going to write total here. Okay, total is a normal variable, it's not an array. So let's compile this and see the output. Okay, so you can see the individual marks have been shown here, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then the total is also showing the total marks. Okay, now let's read all these values from the user. Instead of hard coding the values in my code, I will read it from the user. Okay, so I know that there are we need to store 4 marks, 4 subject marks, let's say. Okay, so I need to create the array here like this, new int, as I've explained earlier, and then the size of the array. Size will be 4 because we want to store 4 marks, so I'm going to write 4 here. Okay, so by default all the values of this array will be 0. Let's compile and check this. The total will be 0 and the individual marks will also be 0. Okay. So as you can see, the individual marks are 0 and the total marks is also 0. Okay. Now let's use the scanner class. Let's import the package. Okay. So I'm going to display a message here, system.out.println, enter the marks for 4 subjects. Okay, and then marks 0 is equal to sc dot next int. Okay, similarly I will do this for marks 1, marks 2 and marks 3. Remember, the index will go only up till 3, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so this will take the input in the array. Okay, and then the total will be calculated. So this is fine, no need to change this, and then the marks will be displayed here. Okay, so let's compile this and see the output. Okay. So let's enter the marks. Let's say 50, 25, 30. Okay, that is 3, 95. So you can see the marks this time was entered at runtime. Okay, and the marks are being displayed here, and then the total marks is also being calculated and displayed. So this time we did not hard code the values of the marks. We took the input from the user and then we calculated the total marks by adding all the values present at the different indexes. Okay, and then we displayed the individual marks as well as the total marks. Okay, now the same thing I am going to do with the help of loops. Now imagine I have to take input for 1000 subjects, okay, or for 1000 students. So what will happen? I have to write this. I have to write so many thousands of lines of code just for taking the input. So there is a smarter way to do this using for loop. Okay, there is a smarter way using for loop. So all this input part will be taken in the for loop, and all this displaying part will also be done by the for loop. And you can see that thousands of lines can be replaced just by 2 or 3 lines with the help of for loop. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create another class. Okay, so I'm going to remove all this, and here I'll create a loop for int I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to 3 and I plus plus. Okay, and then I'll open the scope of the for loop. Okay, inside the for loop, instead of writing the value of the index like 0 or 1 or whatever, I can write the variable I here. I can write the variable I, so that when the loop runs the first time, value of I will be 0. When it runs the second time, it will be 1. When it runs the third time, it will be 2. And when it runs the fourth and final time, it will be 3. Okay, so marks 0, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3. This is how it will change. Okay, and the 4 values will be stored in 4 different index locations. Okay, so once this is done, now the display part also, the displaying part, instead of writing so many different lines, let us just create a loop here. Okay, just create the loop and inside the loop we'll write marks I. Okay, so first time it will print the value of marks 0, second time it will be marks 1, third time it will print marks 2, and fourth time it will print marks 3. Okay, so you can see the code is looking more it's looking better now. Okay, so let's compile this and execute. So let's enter again, let's say 50, 60, 75 and 98. So you can see this time also the marks were entered by the user and the individual marks were displayed, and then the total marks were displayed with the help of for loop and arrays. So this combination of for loops and arrays, it's a very powerful combination. So I hope you have understood whatever has been taught in this video, and in the next video we'll be solving a few problems based on arrays. Okay, and then in further videos I will discuss sorting and searching. So I'll stop here. Thank you.